Bonjour. Alors, je vais juste vous laisser savoir que dans notre vlog, nos trois commerces locaux qu'on est allé interviewer, ce sont tous des librairies locales, en fait, des petits bookstores. Parce que moi et ma collègue Angeline, on adore simplement les livres. Alors, on trouvait que c'était très fitting pour nous d'aller dans des petites librairies.
Yeah. Okay, so like for how long do you know when the store started?
So I know that the current owners, it's family-owned business, and so one of the owners now is the son of the previous owner. I think the father got it in the early 1990s. This is actually two shops. I think that one was a hairdresser's that they bought over at some point, and this one might have been a bookshop before he owned it, so it might have been a bookshop into the 1980s, but the deep histories are not known to me. I guess when you're a smaller business, there's like, if something goes wrong, dealing with that is more difficult because you don't have lots of other stores, lots of other money kicking around to solve those kind of problems. But the people who run the store, so my bosses who own it, they're very kind of diligent. They sort of plan very well, and they've actually led this to being a very thriving bookstore. So yeah. Also, like, I've not worked in big businesses before, so I have very little to compare it to. Like in my other work, I don't work in like other big bookstores, so I don't really have a comparison.
Okay. And like, what do you think that this is a lot for the community?
Yeah, I really do actually, and I think that like the selection of books here really represents the customers who come here. And that community being local Edinburgh people, so serving things like different kinds of students who are in Edinburgh. We have a lot of books that are related to Scotland and a lot of Scottish history books, and there's a lot of things that you can find here you can't really find anywhere else, and especially when you have
Alors malheureusement, la vidéo a coupé très abruptement à ce moment-là parce que mon téléphone avait plus de batterie. Mais en fait, la personne parlait a beaucoup mentionné aussi le lien avec la communauté. Et puis, il a aussi beaucoup mentionné qu'un des compétiteurs principaux de la librairie, c'est en fait les grosses librairies comme, pas internationales, mais comme à travers l'Europe, on a Waterstone, qui est une librairie très importante, qui est un grand compétiteur.
What's the name of your store?
Comedia Buchhandlung means Comedia Bookshop.
Well, how long has it been open for?
Since 1982, and in this place since 2003.
Okay, so was it like a different location before?
Yeah, exactly. So it's the bookstore exists since 43 years now. Yeah.
Wow. So have you encountered like any difficulties keeping it open? Or just as a
now not anymore, but we had problems when in the 90s the bookshop was somewhere else and was actually a really fluent, vibrant street, but after the wall came down it was like a desert.
Okay.
And so it's really important where you have your store.
As a local business, like what motivated you to open? Or I know it was probably not yourself, but you know what was the motivation to open the store or the story behind it?
In 1982 there were a group of students, of film students.
Oh.
Yeah, and they did like a group, like a commune thing. And so they thought, we want to have a bookshop about actually movie books and everything what has to do with media. And there were around, 10 people, so they opened the bookshop at 1982 with that idea, but we're not a movie bookshop anymore, how we say, so, but this was the idea.
Okay, and do you find that you benefit like the local community around, or that like it's reflected in the store now?
Yeah, here it's a kind of a mixture. We have kind of people who are almost every week here, so people who really live here and go every week here to a bookstore. But here in this area there are also a lot of tourists.
Yeah.
in the summer season also. This is a good mixture, I think. Yeah.
Cool. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
You're welcome.
So, do you know for how long this store has been open?
Yes, if you look over there, it's last year was our 25th birthday,
Oh,
but
wow.
it didn't always have the same name. I think 10 or 11 years back it was called UFO, which is the UFO bookstore. But the current owners took over the shop in a friendly manner from the previous owners and renamed it Otherland then.
Cool. Do you know the story of how it came together or started?
Not really. I know the previous owner is a couple, and they ended because I think they moved as well, and they basically sold the shop to the other workers, which are my current bosses, if you want to call it that way. But we have a very flat hierarchy, so it's bosses that you can talk to.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what their philosophy is in kind of taking care of the bookstore? Or?
Yes, I think.
Yeah.
Well, first, there's no one that really makes a lot of money with the shop. It's always we as the employees, but also our bosses in the same manner. We get kind of not a lot of money per hour and stuff. We get the benefits of working in a bookshop, which is we can order books for ourselves and pay a very reduced price for them, which is nice. And also it is a very community-oriented bookshop, so I feel like we try to make enough money to get by, and everything else is kind of spent on events that we do, readings we have in the store, and these are always for free, our events, so people can just come. Well, they have to write a mail because we don't have a lot of space, but usually I feel like the idea the bookshop has is that reading should be available to anyone, and in that sense, last year we had special reduced books in English where we picked a couple books every month, and they were only €5 because we could afford to price them that low, kinda, and we knew that because a lot of prices went up, and especially our English section got a lot more expensive over the last couple of years. We try to have something for people that don't have a lot of money. So our used book section is similar, where we try to price the books as low as makes sense for us in a way. So sometimes they're still expensive, but then also I just recently learned that a book that is sitting on a shelf not being sold also costs us kind of, because it's taken away space from books that could be sold and stuff like that, and you have to you put it away anyways. You work with it. So
So last question, although I feel like you did answer it already, but do you feel like you benefit the community then?
I think so, yeah. We have, like I said, our events. We also have a book club, buying a monthly book club that is all gaming nights for role-playing games and stuff like that, where I feel like we give a bit to the community. And also it's nice to see how many people in the area really like to come to the shop just to browse once a week, twice a week, not buy anything, and just have a look if there's anything new. I feel like it's a bit
I think it brings people together,
yes,
right?
it brings people together, and it's also, I feel like nowadays, at least me personally, a lot of shops I go to, I feel the need to buy something. It's hard usually to go to a shop and know you won't buy anything and just have a look around. And we, at least I, but I think my colleagues would agree, try to make this an invitation to just have a browse around, take pictures if you want, and see if you can get it cheaper off Amazon. Might be the case. Hey, Wolf. And
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you guys.
Alors, c'est sûr que pendant le voyage, on a fait nos vlogs dans des librairies locales parce qu'on était déjà habitués à aller dans des librairies locales. Fait que, par exemple, au Québec, un exemple de librairie locale que moi je vais, mettons à la Chine, on a la librairie Les Passages, qui est une librairie québécoise qui fait partie de la librairie Verdun, mais ça reste une librairie indépendante, une petite librairie du Québec, fait que ça supporte la culture québécoise. C'est aussi très plus petit, fait qu'on connaît plus les employés, il y a vraiment plus un sentiment de communauté. Aussi, ils supportent des auteurs québécois, fait que c'est sûr que ça aussi, comme ça l'aide dans le sentiment de communauté au niveau de la librairie locale. De plus, supporter les librairies locales, ou peu importe le magasin local, mettons au Québec ou dans la section en Allemagne, on était à Berlin, dans cette petite communauté ou mettons dans la province, comme mettons ici au Québec, supporter, ça reste que l'argent au niveau économique, comme les retombées économiques sont très positives, ça fait que mettons l'argent va directement aux auteurs québécois ou aux éditeurs québécois, l'argent reste dans la communauté, comparément aux grandes entreprises comme Indigo ou Waterstone en Europe.
Donc, il y a plusieurs façons qu'on pourrait promouvoir les entreprises locales. Premièrement, on pourrait le faire de manière plus organique, alors juste plus en parler avec nos amis, notre famille, nos proches, mentionner « Ah, je suis allée à ce magasin, j'ai vraiment aimé les produits, c'était vraiment cool », puis juste spread the word. Puis de cette manière, les personnes vont juste plus fréquenter ces magasins. On pourrait aussi le faire de manière plus économique au niveau sociétal, comme décider des mesures où on va mettre plus de tarifs ou d'impôts sur les entreprises qui ne sont pas locales, ou bien donner des subventions aux entreprises locales pour les aider à commencer. On pourrait aussi faire plus de publicité à propos des entreprises locales, vraiment promouvoir comment ils ont des produits qui sont spéciaux ou bien qu'on peut seulement acheter ici, puis dont on est fier car c'est local. Puis finalement, on pourrait aussi, bien sûr, utiliser la monnaie locale qui, une fois instaurée, va vraiment encourager les gens à acheter dans leur magasin local.